Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. We also examine the worlds of education and workplace ethics. My name's Breakaway Ray, and I'm helping you to find your own inner persona's panache-encrusted nickname. You've tuned into a live tarot throw. Today is September 17th, 2025. Well, how about 3 cards for you? Let's go right to the tarot cam. Well, excuse me. Thank you in advance for your blessing. That was a surprise. All right, so let's get you 3 cards. This is for all the viewers here at STARCARD Podcast. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you very much for tuning in. We always have a lot of fun throwing tarot cards and learning what we can with the help of the tarot world and all the people sending us fun and helpful messages. So I bet there's a fun, helpful message standing by for all of us, whether you're tuning in live or catching it later on a recording. These 3 cards are for you. These 3 cards are for those tuning in to STARCARD Podcast. I'm going to give that one more shuffle. 3 cards for everybody tuning in. Thank you very much, everybody. Woo! I'm having fun already. One more. Here we go. 3 cards. Thanks, Tarot World. I know you make it easier than I make it. Okay, so 1. Use it for all of us. Thank you, Tarot World. Dun, 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 dun. This is for entertainment purposes only. First up, oh, all right. Who loves you, baby? It's the Lover's card, and the Lover's card indicates the power of 2 together. But for sure, if you tune into all of our other podcasts, you know that the Lover's card means the spirit world is right here and says, "I love you too." So that's good news, doesn't it? I mean, it feels like you just got a call from mom, right? You know, well, that was nice. I really need to hear from my mom more often, for example. Hey, how about that? The 7 of Pentacles suggests that there's a lot of work to do, but it's a lot of fruitful work. I mean, we're not spinning our wheels. We're not wasting our energy. We know what we're doing, and we're going to make some great value out of all of our hard work, whether you're doing this individually on your own, because what you do on your own to lift up your own boat, right, lifts up everybody else's. Way to go, everybody. Have at it. It's a brand new day. And finally, the 9 of Wands. There's a rule it's actually an amendment to the Constitution, it's one of the qualifications. You know, in order to run for president of the United States, for example, there's really only 2 rules. One is you have to be born in the United States, and the other is that you have to be at least 35 years old. And the reason why I mention that is that this guy looks like he's already experienced life, the 9 of Wands guys, right? He's got some bumps and bruises, but he's also got a lot of tools now to handle things. And I like that because, you know, I agree, you know, you ought to be at least 35 years old. I wouldn't want someone who's 22 years old, fresh out of college, who thinks he knows everything. You haven't raised a family yet, for example. No offense, 20-year-olds. Yeah, I was there too. But I'm sure we can all agree it's better to have wise people leading the charge, doing the hard work, communicating with the tarot world like we're doing here at STARCARD Podcast. All right, so that sounds like a salute from the tarot world to you for tuning in ritually. Some of you, I'm really part of your world right now. That's pretty awesome. I love you guys too. Thanks a lot. All right, let's get these cards set aside. Give them a quick toss. And then we're going to start off. Oh, I want to check my notes. One moment, please. Oh, you might as well look at my notebook. Okay, I was going to hide it. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do today is, you know, I always like to do my own tarot throw for myself, just for my own knowledge, just because I'm exploring ideas. So before I get to the one I want to do, obviously I want to build up to it because I'm pursuing some ideas about westward expansion in the United States during the 1700s and the 1800s, looking at it through the prism of the old world idea that, you know, there weren't just virgin wildlands across the North American continent that we were going out and exploring and settling. In fact, there are already pre-existing European-style cities with fully developed trolley and rail systems, but they were nearly vacant. And that's what we were looking to conquer and occupy. So anyway, I guess you're probably going to hear that one again. I wrote it down a couple of times, but I'm checking my notes here. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. I gave you 3 cards. So yeah, I'm letting you know how the program's going. That's right. 3 cards. Thanks for being here. We're a team here at STARCARD Podcast. Okay, and then I'm going to do my little anti-history lesson, right? Changing the way we look at things at history. And then I'll throw my own tarot. I'm going to invite some perspective from President Polk. I feel like I'm getting a lot of help setting up these meetings. So, why not? And then I also have the idea of inviting in a special guest. I'll save that for the end there. And then for the second part of the show, everybody, I'll do audience requests. So if you haven't seen my note at the top of the chat, I invite you to make a tarot request by putting it all in capital letters. Tarot, please. Okay. So first up, we're looking at the United States here. And as I mentioned, if you look at a map like this, I wonder if it looks better like this. Yeah, I like that just a little bit better for right now. So, this is without cities, without any kind of, human-made infrastructure on it. It's just supposed to show, the open land. And when we were in school in the 1970s and 1980s, the message we got was just wide open prairie and expanse. Yeah, there were some Native Americans out there, and they have their story, and there's a story about them, but there weren't fully developed cities. And in fact, it looks quite the contrary, right? So we're going back in time. And in 1803, I'm going to cover up here. This is the western part of the United States. In 1803, when the United States looked like this, when Thomas Jefferson was president, remember he squared away that deal with Napoleon from France to acquire the Louisiana Purchase, to purchase it, the Louisiana Territory. And again, it's not just open prairie from Breakaway Ray's perspective. This is my opinion. You don't even have to agree with me, but it's still fun to talk about. I'm trying to be entertaining here too. So, you had places like Missouri and Helena, Montana, and Madison, Wisconsin. These are incredibly developed cities. And it's hard to believe the story that you read about their history, that all this was done with a very small population through very bitter winters. And basically it looked like, it looked like Chicago before they adjusted the way Chicago looked, right? So anyway, let me see where I'm going with this. You know what I need to do? I think I need to go to my notes, and then I'll go to the book, and then I'm ready to throw, right? So as long as I set the stage for what we're talking about here. All right. So, we started a couple of days ago talking about the Louisiana Purchase with the 3rd president of the United States of America, President Jefferson. That took place in about 1803. And then we eyeballed subsequent westward expansion with the 5th president. With the 5th president of the United States of America, President James Monroe, right about the year 1820. And we learned, so Breakaway Ray believes, from the tarot world, that President Monroe was already on to the capitalization upon and commandeering of nearly vacant, fully developed European-style cities with trolleys and railways and fully developed underground, uber cities, all for the taking. Just get some shovels and start digging them out. By the way, when you talk about people getting shovels and digging them out, it makes me think about, I think it's FDR's CCR, right? Civil Corps of Engineers or something like that. The guys that were always doing civil works, and they were funded by the government to jumpstart after the Depression. All right. Why do I know so much about that? It wasn't household discussion. Anyway, moving on, I'm going to go from the 5th president, Mr. Monroe, to the 11th president now in 1845, this would be James K. Polk, James Knox Polk, K-N-O-X. He was a dark horse candidate, and he promised to be a one-termer. He said, just vote for me. I'm only sticking around for 4 years, and then I'm out of here. And he stood true to his word. He was pretty popular, apparently, at the end of his 4-year term, and he could have stayed on. He could have been reelected, but he decided to retire. And then I'm sorry to say President Polk passed away not too long after he retired. But let's see. Let me check the rest of my notes here. Yeah. So, his James K. Polk's influence connecting the United States of America across the continent from sea to shining sea. Oh, can't believe I blew that line. I'm starting over. Okay, James K. Polk's influence connecting the United States of America across the continent from sea to shining sea cannot be overstated. Polk's policy of manifest destiny shaped global geography and geopolitics ever since 1849. And what was the hurry to go west? Well, in light of what we're talking about here at STARCARD Podcast, Polk's story looks different to me now than it did 50 years ago when I first did a report on President Polk in elementary school. And also, by the way, might give us a different take when we think about the Oklahoma Sooner part of history. So I would now start to I'm going to go to the book. I'm about to invite people in. So let me go to the social studies book and let me show you some cool stuff. I'm getting excited about a 40-year-old social studies book. Okay, this is from 5th grade. All right, but check this out. So remember, this is what the Louisiana Purchase looked like. And then just to refresh your geography, these little brown shapes end up continuing all the way across. And there's California over there, Mexico to the south. Okay, and then I happened to come across this subtitle in the book, and it says the Transcontinental Railroads and the Indian Wars. The Transcontinental Railroads and the Indian Wars. Actually, this is the page I turned to, just like a tarot thrower would. This is the first page I turned to when I opened up this book this morning. And this is exactly kind of how, this is kind of the subject that I'm talking about here. This is the propaganda, the twist. Instead of saying, we're building, instead of saying there was already a railroad there, and there was, besides the Native Americans, yada, yada, we'll say, you know what, we had to basically have wars with the Native Americans. We weren't very nice, but we were building railroads, and sometimes they were in the way. It's a total, a whitewash of the previous civilization's masterful work, the way they terraformed our planet with all their magnificent, marvelous infrastructure, which we're just barely catching on to right now. We don't even see what's underneath the surface of Earth, right? Think about Denver Airport. Let's just start right there. All right. So there was that one. I thought I had another map. Yeah, here's the other map. So now history has moved on a little bit here. So I'm going to show you the original United States in the eastern seaboard here with your 13 colonies, and then running up and down the Appalachian Mountains here. Here is the peninsula of Florida, touching the southern parts of the states of Alabama, Mississippi, and going over to Louisiana. Here is Texas, all in green, which also at this time includes Oklahoma. And down over here, you have California and Utah and that's Nevada. You have the Gadsden Purchase, which is Arizona and New Mexico, those two states right there. I think you could see it better than I'm showing it. There, look. I'm having too much fun looking at the book. Okay. Oh, there we go. Now I get it. All right. So they're showing a couple of paths there. I don't know if that's the Oregon Trail or something like that. Oh, yeah, more trails, pioneer trails. Great. Well, they're not showing all the rail lines that needed to be uncovered with shovels because they were already there. They served a previous civilization probably for hundreds of years. I mean, if I sound too fantastic, go on the internet and go Google Madison, Wisconsin. Check out the layout of that city. We see the outside of these buildings. Some of these videos are taking the cameras inside, and there's a video. There's a YouTube site called Hidden Kingdom. The guy goes inside, and he's reminding us it's not just awesome on the outside. And inside, it's amazing with marble, perfectly done, no mistakes, and supposedly all done just in a couple of decades in the late 1800s. Anyway, I like how I got all hyped up about the hidden knowledge here. I guess I'm ready to throw some cards now. I think I covered everything. So, the tarot world's been so good making connections for us and welcoming guests so that we can all learn from them. And today, I do have plans to invite in James K. Polk, President of the United States, the champion of manifest destiny. I would like to hear his take, if he has one, on the pre-existing infrastructure that we were just talking about. When I say we, I mean I was monologuing about it. I wonder if President Polk would like to share his perspective. I mean, we think that President Monroe already knew about it. I'm pretty sure President Jefferson already knew about the stuff. So there was certainly, remaining old world buildings all around. Maybe you'd like to tell us your perspective on those cities out there in the Louisiana Purchase area, going all the way out to California. So we would like President Polk to comment on how valuable it looks and how driven he had to be with manifest destiny, why it was so important. I suspect it was more than just open land and a great theoretical idea of moving across the continent. But we invite the president to speak about that. And I'm sure that all of these little seances, breakaway ray throws in the morning are protected. I believe that there are guides and helpers protecting all of our tarot sessions. And so I would like to ask them, especially with the president present, when I'm sure he brings his own security, let's make sure that the whole meeting is protected and we're all on extra alert. And because I would like to welcome another guest. I'm sure these two entities, President Polk and the next guest, know each other. They're aware of each other. Their existences were intricately intertwined with one another. But just to be on the safe side so that everybody can stay cool, I'd like to invite in the spirits of the security guards from the Jerry Springer show just to stand by, guys. I want to thank you for being here because I don't think we're going to need you, but we're all going to feel comfortable knowing you're right there to assist in case there's a problem. No matter where it comes from. I know that both of our guests are civil and respectful. Otherwise, they would not be invited to the party and be asked to speak through the tarot cards. So thank you to the special protection from all our spirits and guides and the archangels and the spirits and consciousness of the security guards at the Jerry Springer show. Thank you very much. And so now I'd like to welcome in, besides President Polk, the spirit of the railways, the actual railways that were most likely covered in mud or dirt and needed to be uncovered and stretched across the North American continent. I wonder if the railways themselves, the spirit of the consciousness of the railways, would like to comment on my question. So I'm going to get my notes out for everybody. That's right. I was talking about European-style cities, railways, trolleys, and an amazing underground, most of which we don't know anything about, right? And then we're inviting in President Polk to speak, okay? And then the consciousness of North American railways, right there. And then I didn't do one for the tarot world, but I'm going to check my notes and see how I'm going to read that one. The last row is going to be, yeah. So I know the tarot world is listening, so I'm going to reread this. I'm rereading for myself. This is your first time hearing this. Is it a true statement? Railways and pre-existing European-style cities with fully developed underground cities motivated manifest destiny in a way people in 2025 know nothing about. So was there some kind of motivation going on that most of us in 2025 know nothing about? We're inviting the president to speak. We're inviting the consciousness of the North American Railway to speak. And then we'll invite a summary statement from these two entities whose energies intermingled in an intricate manner. I want to say thank you in advance to the tarot world. These cards are for the hidden knowledge and the motivation for manifest destiny. And we thank President Polk for joining us. I know he remembers me. I got a good grade on my project. We thank the railways for all the ways it helped our nation grow. And we thank them for making a sacrifice for us. And we appreciate their commentary on possible hidden knowledge. And then let's bridge our messages together through the power of tarot. Woo, that one's coming out. That'll go last then. Okay. This is for entertainment purposes only. I think I like it better with the, without that light on. Here I go. Am I getting closer? A little bit disoriented here. Oh, cool. That's easy. All right, here I go. First up, what's President Polk have to say? Thank you for your commentary, sir. Here we go. He starts with the Hanged Man card, which says, take another look. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're taking another look at what President Polk really may have seen. I think he's inviting us to look through his point of view there, see it through his eyes. Yeah. Could there be any more of a President Polk card than the Five of Swords? This dude who takes everybody's weapons and basically has no friends, but he's the bad boy on the block. Instant cash in too. Look at him. He's a young guy with his red colored hair there. No gray hairs. He's just a bad dude. All right. Thank you, President Polk. Listening, sir. Well, okay. Somebody in charge, the King of Cups. Let's check the words on this one. King of Cups. Yeah, emotionally balanced, diplomatic, control, supportive leader. I'm going to say the terms diplomatic and control and supportive leader and even compassion, they all seem to apply to Mr. Polk. I'm not getting any clues yet about his perspective on the old world cities and buildings, but we still got two cards to play with. Excellent introduction, sir. I believe you're here. Yeah, I believe it. I believe whatever you want to say can be said in two cards. Okay. Did anyone say manifest destiny? It's the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands says unlimited potential. Let's double check that. Inspiration, ideas, discovery, limitless potential, free spirit, exploration, excitement, freedom. And, the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles talks about the fruits of your labor, but they're getting the fruits of someone else's labor. It's those old world cities. That's what they had their eye on. Well, thank you, President Polk. I like how he's like acknowledging, yeah, Breakaway Ray, that's right. I should see like a Queen of Swords. Well, I didn't throw one for me, but yeah, I don't need a Queen of Swords, President Polk, sir. You made your message clear. Thank you very much for joining us. And now let's hear from our friends, the North American Railways. I mean, they do their job anyway. Who knows if they're concerned about what the humans in 2025 think or know. But, The Ten of Cups says it's a dream come true. Well, from a historical standpoint, if the rail lines were already there, what a dream come true. You don't have to do all that work. It's already there. Get your shovel and dig it out. Yeah, the Four of Wands. It's a homecoming. Trains bring us home. Also, it's a dream come true that we're talking about this right now with our guest, the consciousness of the North American railways. Anyway, this really feels like the railways themselves are saying it's like a dream come true to be a guest on your show. Such as all ours. Thank you. We're not worthy. All right. Next up, the Three of Wands. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. This is the guy that's looking up at the boards so he knows what ticket to buy when he gets on the train. Sweet. Yeah, you're planning for your trip home. You're checking out the boards. Anyway, well, there is some disappointment involved with the Five of Cups. Well, yeah, because we don't know, that stuff, that stuff was already there. We're not even paying attention. It was already there and built. Okay, we thought that there was nothing there. How about that? That's an epistemological point of view there from the consciousness of the North American railways. What do we know? Wow, and perhaps there's it says it's the end of a lot of hard work. We could talk about the hard work of the researchers who present this information, like Old World Exploration and Michelle Gibson. We could talk about their hard work that's helping us learn about that. Well, and the hard work we're doing discussing it here at STARCARD Podcast. And finally, we want to thank them both for their messages and all the security presence in the house. Let's take a look at the last three cards so we can go on and have a wonderful day. It's the Ten of Swords, and that says it's the end of a painful episode, right? That's good news. It's the end of a painful. It's the end of the dark ages and pretending we don't know about this stuff. We got to get ready for the age of Aquarius. The Four of Swords says, relax. Let's groove into it. Let's flow into it, right? Also, don't forget to meditate and take a break. And then finally, I guess President Polk and the consciousness of the North American railways and the tarot world are reminding us that we're at a crossroads, kind of like I just pre-echoed a moment ago. We're just walking through the threshold of the age of Aquarius. We don't see everything that's coming, but we're definitely ready to handle it. As the information comes in, we should have no problem making good decisions. So we're going to keep the information coming here. What a fun story. It was worth all the lesson planning and extra homework this morning to bring that to you. I want to thank you very much for being patient and an attentive audience. I hope it was entertaining. And now I'm going to give these a quick toss and check out and see who wants a tarot reading. Oh, look, 28 minutes into the show. Hey, I like that timing. Hi, everybody. Thanks a lot for coming to the show. I really appreciate it. In case you missed it overnight, I posted another video introducing Sarah Adelia Wright. So I know that there might be some fans out there who may not be aware that I did double duty yesterday and gave you another video featuring Psychic Liz Cross. But meanwhile, if anyone's new here, I'm going to scroll through the chat now and try to find people who are requesting tarot readings. You're allowed to put in your request right now if you want. Just if you put it in capital letters, I might see it better. So let me get my mouse and scroll through and take some notes here. And again, thank you very much for being with me. Best part of my day, right? Seeing you all the way around the planet. Okay. Hello, Rose. I see you're there. Hi, Sally Ford. Hello, Judy. Hey, there's somebody there called Daraya. Very nice to see you, Daraya. Very nice to see you, Daraya. Thanks for coming to the show. Okay, so I see. Oh, I remember Alaraud. Let me get you down there, Alaraud. all around 1989, right. Okay, thank you. I got that one. Number 2, that would be Mrs. NW5, which is Judy. Hi, Judy. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I appreciate it. Next up, it's Johnny. Hey, Johnny. Shh. Okay. Shh. Let me get you down for a tarot. I don't want to wake up Scandinavia. All right. And then let's see if there's anyone else. Yay. Oh, yeah, I got Judy. Okay, so I see Alaroud has to roll, but we'll throw you some cards anyway, right? You can check the recording later. And, LMAA has a request. I'm going to write you down, LMAA. Welcome to the show again. Thanks for tuning in. So let's just start with those. Oh, okay, so Judy did have a special request. That one's about health. Got it. I happen to spot that. Okay. All right, so let's throw some cards for all around 1989. And thank you very much. Here we go. I want to thank the Tarot World for that fun tarot press conference. And now, if you please, could we have a fun, helpful message for Alaroud 1989? I want to thank Alaroud 1989 for stopping in. Let's see if we can send Alaroud 1989 off with a fun, helpful message. Thank you. Alaroud 1989. These are for Alaroud 1989. All right. So these are for entertainment purposes only. Okay. You can't run now. Okay. I mean, it's on video. You can always go back and check it later, but I'm glad you could tune in. Here I go. First up, the Queen of Pentacles. And she says, nurturing, practical, providing financially, a working parent. Yeah, it sounds like you got to go to work. But how cool is that? You got the King of Swords, and the King of Swords says, head over heart, disciplined, truthful, honest, mental clarity, and authority. Well, yeah, sounds like you got to go to work. You know, you got to be disciplined about that. And many people share that work ethic. Way to go. And then you have these like stable energies, and then the Tower card shows up. But I think, like, you know, your stable energies are the steel beams that create the structure, and something's fallen away that doesn't need to be there. This is the Tower card. The Tower card indicates sudden change, sudden awareness, revelation, upheaval, awakening, chaos, release, sudden insight. I would say it's a good thing that you're stable and can see things clearly. You're in a good position to deal with a situation like this, whatever it is. And that situation is coming in hot. This is the Eight of Wands. It could indicate travel. It could indicate flight, but it also indicates speed, as if something's coming at you. And then finally, you know how I said it's like coming in hot? Made me think of a baseball throwing a pitch. Okay, but check it out. Look who's up at the plate. It's you, the Page of Swords. Check it out. You got a good stance there. Cal Ripken Jr. be proud of you. The Page of Swords talks about new kinds of communication. So once this is all done, or whenever it happens, again, you're ready for the pitch. You're ready for not only are you ready for the big leagues, but you're like batting third in the batting order. I hope that was a helpful, fun message. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Next up, it's Judy. Thank you. You're welcome. Judy. Do we have a fun, helpful message for our friend Judy? She has a question about health. I'm sure you have a helpful, fun message for her. Let's make all the messages helpful and fun. Why not? That's what you can get other kinds of message other places, but here you get what you pay for. We're going to turn them into helpful, fun messages. Helpful, fun messages about health, please, for Judy. A helpful, fun message for Judy about health. These cards are for Judy. These cards are for Judy. A fun, helpful message about health for Judy, please. Fun, helpful message for Judy. Okay. Let's give it a try. And hey, yo, I know I don't need to say it, Judy, but whatever's going on, I hope you feel better soon. So here we go. The Five of Swords. Let's read what it says on the Five of Swords here. Maybe that's just like the way it feels right now. Conflict, disagreements, competition, defeat, winning at all costs, sneakiness, bullies, theft, and abusive relationships. That's a tough card. Some of these swords cards are hard. This is supposed to be about health. It sounds like, if I were to say, like, if there was a connection, it sounds like it's a really dogged situation that you're trying to cope with. I'm sorry about that. Oh, then the devil card shows up. So I'm going to read what it says on the card. Maybe there's some clues. The devil card says shadow self, attachment, addiction, restriction, sexuality, temptation, seduction, destructive behavior, materialism, codependency, and toxicity. From what little I know about you, Judy, you're pretty educated in lots of ways. So maybe these descriptions actually mean something to you, and you understand the meaning of what's going on here even better than I do. So, but we're not even done yet, right? Because we said a helpful, fun message. This could just be a characterization of the situation that you're in. So here comes the helpful, fun part, right? Right? It can only get better. Yay, all right. It's the Magician. See, the tarot world comes through. Helpful, fun message. The Magician says, action, creation, manifestation, power, self-confidence, clarity, willpower, skill, and creativity. Well, you've probably heard of something called the emotion code, and you've probably heard lots and lots of stories about how people's experiences result in illnesses, some of them chronic. I am no medical expert. I'm just sharing things I've seen in the news and what I've learned about current events. But what I'm suggesting is that I think the tarot world is saying, despite the situation, it can be let go if you just do a little bit of magic. And, how many miracle stories do we hear about, mind over matter, that the placebo effect, even healing ourselves. And this is all stuff that I'm pretty sure Judy knows about. I bet that you're already engaged in it, actually. You don't have to detail this in public in the chat. But of course, I'm supposed to make this a helpful, fun message. I hope I'm coming close. Next up, you're just at the beginning, says the Fool card. You're going to make some magic and you're just at the beginning. See, it's already getting better. Look at you go. Wow. Ka-ching, the Ten of Pentacles shows up. That talks about wealth and divine love. Let's see what it says here. Wealth, financial security, family, long-term success, contribution. You're going to be making some magic and you're just at the beginning of your process. You're going to have help from your wonderful, loving family. And then you're going to have a different look on things, right? We were going to have a different look on things. We were going to, emotion code style, resolve things. And then we're going to finish up our health message with be strong, be courageous. Yeah, have faith. Don't give up. Good for you. Go get him, tiger, right? I bet that's the star card. I would like it to be the star card because we're talking about hope. Oh no, it's just a picture on your driver's license. It's the High Priestess, Judy. All right, does that look like a personalized message, a fun, helpful message for you there? I hope you feel better soon. I feel better throwing cards for you. That made my day. Well, every time it makes my day. Thanks a lot, Judy. Next up, it's Johnny Anderson. Johnny, I saw in the chat that you invited me, and I want to thank you very much for your invitation. I really appreciate it. Psychic Liz Cross has invited me multiple times. Anyway, so grateful to Psychic Liz Cross. I learned so much from her. She's really helpful. I'm not sure I'd be showing cards like this right now if Psychic Liz Cross hadn't given me like a little head start there. Yeah, right on, Johnny. So let's throw some cards for you. I'm not sure, Johnny, if you have a specific focus, but let's have a fun, helpful message. These cards are for Johnny. These cards are for Johnny, please. Yeah, a fun, helpful message for Johnny. All right. A fun, helpful message for Johnny, please. Yeah. All right, here we go. Excellent. First up, it's the Moon card. I'm going to read what it says on the card so that, maybe it gives you a clue about what the tarot world wants to tell you. Illusion, mystery, dreams, intuition, fear, anxiety, subconscious, and premonitions. And I don't know, Johnny, I'm drawn to looking at the two animals in the picture. One of them is almost the ghostly color of the moon sun thing in the sky. Anyway, next up, it's the Six of Wands, public recognition. And the Two of Wands says the universe gives you the green light. The universe likes your plans. You have the green light, go. And then there's going to be a lot of giving and taking, says the Six of Pentacles. Whatever is on your mind, whatever this idea is, I'm sure that if you share it and make it public, everyone's going to see it's a good plan. And thereafter, it ends with a lot of giving and taking. Let's see what the last sentence says. All right. This is the Queen of Cups, everyone's favorite kindergarten teacher. Let's read what the Queen of Cups says. Compassion, comfort, calm, nurturing, healing, emotionally stable, intuitive, and caring. Oh, I miss Mrs. Wilcox. Next up, the Nine of Cups is the Wish Come True card. But let's read all the clues, right, Johnny? Nine of Cups, wish come true, contentment, satisfaction, emotional stability, luxury, and gratitude. Great. So the tarot world throws in the Five of Wands card. But when I saw the Five of Wands card, I was thinking about, roughing around on the rug in the living room with my younger brothers when I was a kid. I don't see I don't see the conflict. These guys had got sticks or whatever, but I was like having fun. We just came from kindergarten class. It's after school. We got no homework. It's a wish come true. You're gonna play like that in the living room. Go outside and play if you're gonna play rough. And then finally, I don't know, the Two of Cups. I'll read what it says on the Two of Cups. It says unified love, partnership, mutual attraction, proposal, marriage, and connection. So maybe there's a connection being made in your life. But you also know, because you've been around my show a little while now, Johnny, that this is my message card at the end, especially at the end of the message. The punctuation mark says, hey, this is a message directly from the tarot world. Another example, and I say this in a respectful way, of the tarot world showing off. Yeah, the end communication. Good luck, Johnny. Thanks a lot for inviting me to read. I appreciate it so much. Come on, I'm having fun telling these stories with the cards. Okay, and then LMAA. So, and I saw Namira's here. Let me get that. So I'm writing down Namira's name. We're going to take care of Namira too. Hi, Namira. Thanks a lot for coming. Whoops. All right. So now, there we go. Hey, everybody. So I am going to do those readings in a moment, but it's time for me to we have some continuing audience members, and it's in lots of ways it's like a classroom because we all have to agree on the rules and things, right? So before I throw any more cards, obviously this has been on my mind a little bit. I want to establish some guidelines for everybody because a lot of you have made some very creative suggestions, and they really helped me expand what I do here at STARCARD Podcast. I would never have thought up those things myself, so I'm so grateful to you. But first of all, I feel uncomfortable. I'm not saying the tarot world doesn't give good messages, but I feel uncomfortable when it comes to romance because I'm not one who has experience to share in that department. And I don't want to get involved, and I wouldn't want anyone to use advice from me, some guy on the internet who admits he has no experience with it, to give advice. So I would prefer if we shied away from romantic questions. However, nevertheless, I'm not going to say no altogether. I'm just saying I feel kind of uncomfortable about it. I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be the fifth grade kid in class who has to keep passing the note to the girl in front because the guy behind me has a crush on her. I don't want to be that guy, right? Now, however, having said that, if there's a communication issue, that's something I can address. Instead of, could you please read someone's mind for me? How about, let's build it up so that you can do it on your own. How can we improve the communication? That's one thing I'd like to say to begin with. And then the next thing that I also don't want to be responsible for are financial predictions. Yesterday, we had a really fun one, and it wouldn't surprise me if the tarot world was 100% correct. Maybe my interpretation wasn't correct, but the cards were probably correct. We'll have to see what happens by the time we get to Halloween. But nevertheless, why would you take advice from some guy throwing cards on the internet? I don't care if he's wearing a tie, okay? I'm not interested in influencing other people's budgets and family budgets like that. That stuff is actually a sensitive subject in my home. So that financial thing, the speculation thing, it's something I'm not comfortable with because of my own personal experience. So I love everyone very much. I love all your suggestions. I'm just letting you know I personally don't want to get involved in those areas, and I wanted you to be aware because a lot of you are very empathic and you actually care about me as a person and you want me to keep doing the show. And there's nothing wrong with having boundaries, right? It took me 35 years to figure that out. So I'm going to throw for LMAA now. And I know you asked something about your friend. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some cards about communication with this person. It takes even more energy, I would say, to invite your guest in to make him a guest. Although he really enjoys it. And I appreciated his participation. We're all very friendly about it. However, I want to hold the mirror up to myself. How would I feel if someone kept, asking, for example, a psychic that they knew, could you read Breakaway Raised Mine so I don't have to call them up, just for example, not to make light of your situation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw cards for LMAA and a suggestion or a path forward, maybe with communication. And by the way, I want to say that the person that you're interested in, I get very good feelings about that person. Again, he was a very welcome guest, a very wonderful guest to have. But again, from my own personal thing, if someone wants to talk to me, let's talk. So let me go down to the tarot cam and throw some cards for you. And I want to thank you again very much. You know how much I appreciate you as a viewer and a subscriber. Thank you, LMAA. All right, let's come down here. All right. So I know the tarot world heard everything I wanted to say. The tarot world has no problem, with whatever my requests are. But I would like to see a helpful, fun message for LMAA, and maybe even a helpful, fun suggestion, so that communication can be even clearer, and that there's understanding between both parties mutually. So let's have a helpful, fun message about communication for LMAA in the particular situation that she's asking about right now. How do we make that connection? Where do we start? This is the subject I'd like to talk about, for example. A helpful, fun message to get the ball rolling for LMAA, please. Thank you for the helpful, fun messages. Helpful, instructional. We all learn from the tarot world here at STARCARD Podcast. Whatever's going on out there, these people are setting up the messages really nice. These cards are for LMAA. We're talking about in the communication. Let's keep it going. We've got at least 2 wonderful people involved. Let's keep their communication strong so it can be built upon and last a long time. All right. Good luck to both of us, LMAA. This is for entertainment purposes only, right? Again, some guy throwing cards. All right. First up, the 7 of Cups suggests there's all kinds of opportunities here, perhaps in my response to communication. Helpful, fun opportunities. Now, not all of those cups are awesome. I think one of them has a scorpion in there, so we're going to have to pick and choose. It's not a blank slate. Everything's wonderful. Got to be careful, but there are lots of opportunities, lots of ways to get to break the ice, as it were. Okay. Maybe you already have a plan. Maybe you've already thought in your head 3 or 4 different ways about what you want to say and how to get things going, says the 2 of Wands. You've been making a plan and looking forward. I mean, look at you. You're coming to STARCARD Podcast and you're asking me to help you. I mean, and I'm happy to do it, with whatever your plan is. I'm truly honored to be part of your team. But the universe is also saying, we like your plan. You have the green light, go. Whatever you're thinking, you were right. You're right on target. You know what to do. You will watch out like Indiana Jones and in The Last Crusade. You'll watch your step, with all the crazy things that you could look at, all the different ways that things could go, because you already have a good plan. You know what you're doing. And I know the 8 of Swords looks very dramatic, but in my lexicon here at STARCARD Podcast, I say the 8 of Swords says, as much as you can imagine. It's the phrase, as much as you can imagine. There are so many opportunities. The universe thinks you have a great plan, as much as you can imagine. Wow, you should try your luck, says the Wheel of Fortune. It either says something about luck. Remember, luck can be good luck or bad luck. It goes round and round. It also talks about fate and destiny. So seems like a pretty powerful message. There's lots of opportunities. You know what to do. You've studied it more than anyone. As much as you can imagine, you know what to do. Maybe we'll get lucky, right? Because it takes 2 to tango, doesn't it? Next up, we're talking about communication. So the 9 of Wands suggests that there's already been some experience in this department. And how about that? Well, this does remind me of your friend, by the way. This is the King of Cups. And the King of Cups reads, emotionally balanced, compassion, diplomatic, control, balance, supportive leader, tolerance, and empathic. This could just be my angle, but he's very calm, cool, and collected. He's not getting excited. He's not excitable. Frankly, that's my own personal preference. Let's all take it easy. I don't want to hang out with the guy that's all upset about stuff. I'm going to go hang out with this guy. Hey, then the 3 of Cups shows up. That's the celebration card. All your friends are there. Oh, no. Okay, so then the 9 of Swords shows up, and it still looks like we have sleepless nights. Hey, I thought, well, okay, so we went around a little bit, but anyway, we're still dealing with a wonderful, wonderful person. We celebrate, but yeah, something still on our mind, says the Nine of Swords. There's some kind of anxiety, but I'm going to turn this card upside down. And it says, upside down, the reverse Nine of Swords, releasing worry, hope, reaching out. There you go. That's the message that we want. You know, so many times we get caught up in repeated behaviors. For example, in the workplace, and I did have a job for a few decades, so I do have experience in this department. You might encounter someone, and day after day, week after week, year after year, you have to behave a certain way just to manage your day with that person. Sometimes it might even mean avoiding that person, and yet that behavior is something that you carry with you, and sometimes you apply it to other people unnecessarily. So even though everything's really great and you should celebrate, we might still be like caught in a behavior loop, repeated muscle memory with our emotions about things that we thought about in the past. But we are reaching out, is what it says on this card. Reach out, have hope, have faith. Yay, LMAA. Oh. And then how about that punctuation mark, LMAA? It's the Lover's card. That feels like communication between the people that we're talking about here. I don't have to insinuate too much about the Lover's card, but yeah, it feels like, I thought I was getting carried away. I'm not trained to be a psychologist or a counselor, but then I get a card like this and it tells me, the tarot world says, yeah, that's a pretty good message, Breakaway Ray, well done. So thank you, LMAA. So appreciate you tuning in and inviting me to practice tarot. I have learned a lot from working with you. Thank you so much. So now I think, was Namira on the list? That's right, it's Namira. Okay, great. Hi, Namira. All right, LMAA, you are welcome. I appreciate your, yeah. So right now, I appreciate your comments so much. I want to make sure you saw my face because, again, I don't really know, what I'm doing with the cards and when I'm telling the stories until someone in the chat says, Breakaway Ray, what you said resonates with me. So I appreciate our communication together. Look, we're already having fun communicating. I don't even know where you are. All right, let's go down here and take care of Namira. There you are, Namira. I see you. Cool. And if there's something you want me to focus on, Namira, let me know. Otherwise, the tarot world knows what you want to talk about. I'm going to make Namira the last one, okay? Because we're hitting the hour mark here. Thank you very much, Namira. Thanks for inviting me to read. How about a helpful, fun message for Namira, please? These cards are for Namira. Wow, tarot world. I think you're having as much fun as all of us. Thanks for those great throws. And could you help us close with a wonderful, helpful, fun message for Namira, please? Here we go. A helpful, fun message for Namira. A helpful, fun message for Namira. Thank you, Tarot World. You're making me look good, Tarot World. These cards are for Namira. One more. All right. Want to thank everyone for joining me today. And these cards are for Namira. Let's have another fun, helpful, exciting story, starting with the Ace of Pentacles. Abundance, manifestation, opportunity, new career or financial opportunity, new venture, prosperity. It feels like New Year's Day, especially with the promise of, well, everything is new on New Year's Day, right? Oh, okay. So the Five of Cups showed up. Let's take a look at what it says on the Five of Cups. Regret, failure, disappointment, pessimism, loss, and grief. I was looking at the card and I was just eyeballing the bridge in the background, and I noticed that the water is, running from the bridge toward the man on the shore. I think that's a man in the hood there. I'm not sure why I was focusing on that part, but I thought I'd tell you about it. Because in a moment of repose, we might have to process some emotions. Oh, see, I'm making that card about myself. I was going to say somebody else, but anyway, let's move on. Let's get the story rolling here. Hey, I'm happy to say we asked for a happy, fun message. Here's the Page of Cups. He says it's going to be a happy surprise. Look, this guy's got a cup, and I think that cup has a fish in it. Okay, so phew. Yeah, I got to start turning the cards over faster. Are there some cups on the ground? Is there a mess? No worries. You can expect a happy surprise. You're going to get a new cup with a fish in it. And then you're going to feel like $1 million, says the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles talks about wealth, financial security, family, long-term success, and contribution. So, yeah, there may have been some disappointment. Again, the universe is got a special surprise for you coming. And the universe and you worked on that together. Anyway, let's go to the second sentence for Namira. Oh, wow. So remember how we already had the cash register ringing with the Ten of Pentacles? Well, the second sentence says now, there's it's the Seven of Pentacles. Whatever you've been cultivating, that fruit is flowering. So the Queen of Wands says, Carpe diem, have a zest for life. You might as well be adventurous. Let's read about the Queen of Wands. Courage, confident, independence, focused, zest for life, determination, and joy. Wow. See? Fun, helpful, inspirational. It's the Fool card. It's talking about beginnings, possibilities, innocence, spontaneous optimism, trust in life, blind faith, adventure, opportunity, pleasure, trust in life. Because the universe is there. The universe gives it all to you. Trust in life beyond the disappointments we have on Earth's surface. You already know how to make the magic work and to manifest pleasant surprises just the way you need them. And then while you're busy making things grow, you're going to have fun starting a new adventure. And everyone's going to see you having a good time riding on your new horse. Yeah, and you're going to have limitless possibilities, says the Page of Wands. You're going to have limitless potential, free spirit, exploration. Wow. So, I'm thinking of extreme sport athletes. They have to save a lot of money to pay for the helicopter and all the ski gear and the parachute gear to get them up to the top of the snowy mountain so that they can have their fun skiing down it and jumping off it with a parachute. So, you know what? Small potatoes over here with this. You're destined to have fun. Plus, you work hard at it, so you might as well enjoy it. You might as well have an adventure that, I don't know, you can put on social media. Well, thank you very much, Namira. I'm glad you thought they were beautiful. And I'm very sorry, by the way, about the loss. But I hope the cards were inspirational and fun, and I hope it was entertaining. Great. Whoops. All right. Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. What can I say? Had a lot of fun. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? But when you go through your day-to-day, don't forget to look up in the sky so you can see your star. My name is Breakaway Ray. Have a great day. Bye-bye.